Being gay in Nigeria can no longer be publicly professed because it has been outlawed. Though only 2% of Africa's most populous nation is gay, the crackdown on the sexual minorities is currently keeping many of them out of public glare.
As a child, as a homosexual child, or someone with that orientation grew up in this country, it was basically the same thing as every other Nigerian child. I think now is when the realities are daunting. That Nigeria is actually very hostile.
Rash is a pseudonym. His real name withheld for obvious reasons. He insists there is nothing wrong in being gay.
For me, I knew right from childhood that I was different. Right from my childhood, I knew I was different. What caused that difference, I don't know. But I knew within me, I'm a different person. I felt a lot of attraction to boys. Until date, I still feel that attraction.
A good number of Nigerian legal minds, however, describe his position as immoral.
We believe that a man should sleep with a woman, and vice versa. He doesn't jelly. He doesn't attune to a sense of decency that a man will be sleeping with a man. We cannot understand it.
Accessing healthcare services is now a challenge for the Nigerian gay.
As a community in this country, we don't have that right. We can't go to the hospital, and say that we want to be treated, for sexually transmitted diseases as men who have sex with men. That is a right that we're entitled to constitutionally in this country, but that has been taken away from us because of this law.
Interestingly, just like Rash, this middle-aged ex-lesbian also criticized the law.
I think the law is a selective persecution of people who I would call them victim of circumstances, because many of these people, class of people, which I see them as their sexual minorities, a lot of them find themselves in this situation not because they bargained for it. Some of them are faced with life stresses that are even caused by the states themselves or by decisions, policies and actions of the government. Now, coming up with such a law, you've not abolished single-gender school. Then what do you want to achieve?
She said it took her 28 years to give up the act, but lost her 3 children mysteriously in the process.
Even while I was a lesbian, but I call it heterosexual indeception. And this pervades in many marriages today. Then I was a lesbian. My feelings were tending towards the same sex then. But I tried to make people believe that I was okay, I was all right. I was into a marital relationship with a guy, but deep within me, there was no emotional bonds. I had 3 kids, although they were all late. I could not account for them today because they are deceased. I want to say maybe that is one of the consequences of living an inordinate lifestyle. And maybe that was how God had to arrest me, just to call me back to the path of righteousness.
Majority of Nigerian religious leaders support the new law, but that's not the case with Kunle Macaulay, a professor of theology.
This is the hall the Rainbow House Fellowship once operated. It's the first gay church in Nigeria ever to operate openly, but not anymore, especially as the anti-gay law has now been passed. Many of them have taken cover. The activities have now been criminalized.
The 76-year-old declared that he never supported his son being gay, but strongly feels gays need help.
When I learned about my child's situation, I felt very bad. I neglected him for a month. I was in London with him. I refused to talk to him for about a month. But later, I gave it a thought. This is my child. I can't deny that. Why can't we try to find out what are the causes of this thing? Why are they in it? How can we stop them?
It's an assertion this former member of the lesbian community agrees strongly with. But some are finding it tough changing this sexual orientation. His son Jide Macaulay was recently ordained as a priest in the United Kingdom, a move the dad sees as absurd. The pressure from the Western world to have the law, however, cuts no ice with most Nigerians.
The anti-gay law is a law that curtails the right of the minority in respect of public morality and in the interest of public morality. It's not part of our culture. It's not part of our right here.
As things stand, Nigerian leaders do not see any reason to bow to foreign pressure on the anti-gay law.
There's some measure of hypocrisy, with the attitude of the Western world towards this particular law. There are many evil that has really bedeviled this country because of corruption, and I didn't see them speak against it. Now that we have passed a law that is clearly in tune with our morality, with our cultural values, and I see them, condemning it, even threatening to deny some of our leaders visa because of this issue.
They believe that banning same-sex union is the morally edifying course of action to take, one that is in line with the religious and cultural beliefs of the generality of the Nigerian people. Gbolabo Fasadeju, TVC News, Lagos.